How's it going?
Good, how are you?
So we just
Good to see you.
been wanting to do this for probably about 6 years, so it's about time.
Yeah, well, it's exciting to have this project happen.
So, the last period of time that I've been at the bike shop, I've worn many hats, and essentially what we're thinking is we're thinking of doing a media collaboration. All these projects that you have going on at Two of You, the youth programs, the bike donations, all these different programs, we want to promote that a little bit. Essentially, the idea that we got going on here is we're going to try and find, through your beautiful inventory of bikes, a bike that's on brand for us as a bike shop, and then we're going to resto mod it in some way, and then provide it back to you once we've completed the build. And you can do whatever you need to do with it that'll support Two of You in whatever way it can. Whether it goes to one of your Earn a Bike programs for kids in need, whether it goes towards your bike sales just to run the operations of the shop, whether it's something that we can raffle off together through both of our social medias just to provide most beneficial result for Two of You. That's the idea, essentially.
This is such a great collaboration in the bike shop and some supports from Shimano. And so I'm excited to walk through and look at all our bikes and pick out the various ones, but will fit your needs.
Yeah, so let's take a look through the inventory and see if we can find a lucky candidate.
Excellent. So yeah, everything here is donated. We've got some bikes will come in and not be something that wrestlers can ride, so we'll take parts off and strip them, and so we've got parts that are available to rebuild the bikes for our youth and for social enterprise.
Something that's super chic right now is like the 26-inch gravel conversions, whether it be a drop bar or maybe a flat bar gravel resto mod. That's kind of what we're looking for. So
awesome.
Should we head back over there and take a look at the 26-inch bikes?
Perfect.
No way. It's like a 93, 94 Rockhopper. What do you think of this? Should we do it? Okay.
This could be really, really cool. All right, so before we get into the actual build here, I think it's really nice to mention that Shimano has graciously donated all of these brand new parts for us to equip this bike with. We got a new Q's drivetrain, including 10-speed derailleur, 10-speed cassette, 1x crank, that's what we're gonna use here. Got a new bottom bracket, new chain, some sweet pedals, and I think we're gonna have to rebuild the wheel a little bit because we right now have a 7-speed freewheel on this wheel, and new Q stuff uses 8-speed and up hyperglide. So in my bin of goodies, I have found an on-brand Shimano hub, and this should work for the wheel build, and we should be able to make this bike completely functional. Oh yeah, we got some new cantilever Shimano brakes as well, which is gonna be period correct and also super stoppy.
I'm Laura Sprout. I'm the program manager here at Two Wheel View.
What is Two Wheel View, if you could summarize?
A youth development program that uses bikes as a means of change. A couple of our main programs, our Earn a Bike program, which is after-school program in Calgary Board of Education schools and in some community partners. So that operates Monday to Thursday after schools, and we're in 2 schools a day on those days, and it operates 3 sort of cycles a year in fall, winter, and spring. So we end up in 24 locations throughout the city throughout the school year. It's neat because it's not like a set group of kids that know each other. They all come in kind of knowing a couple people, and they grow their relationships in the program. And same with the teachers. And teachers don't always know the kids, so they also grow that relationship. I think that's a key part, is that when we leave, they still have an adult in the school that's someone who they've gotten to know, and they've got that connection in the school. So yeah, we operate after school. We always have a adult that's linked with the kids in the program, and we run for 10 weeks, and over those weeks they learn basic bike mechanics. They learn, they do a strip day, and then they do air, brakes, chain, derailleur, and then some safety days and project bikes. And at the end, they earn a new to them bike, helmet, lock, and toolkit. We have an in-house earn a bike that happens in the spring and in the fall. But we also, in that space, the big component that happens in there is our GAP program, which is our employability program for youth 18 to 24 years old. And it's a really neat program. People are referred to it through some of our partner groups, and they are in for 8 weeks, 3 times a week. And in that time, they learn bike mechanics, but they also learn employability skills, such as like resume building, employee rights, and just like the general things that happen, teamwork and things like that. So it's a great program. So that operates 3 times a year. So we have 24 youth that go through that program. We've had our 102nd graduate from that program, and youth also earn high school credits. You walk into our shop and it's our social enterprise, and in there we are selling bikes that have been donated. If they're too small, too big, not the right style, like a fat bike or an e-bike or a road bike, and we'll sell them in our shop. And so all the money from those donated bikes, once they've been fixed up by our mechanics, the money from that goes back into our program. So it's just another funding stream instead of just grants and fundraising. It's a great way that we can fund our own programs and be self-sustaining. So it's wonderful. So it's a great spot to find a used bike. It's a good spot to find like those parts when you are working on your old bike. We often have old parts, or we can like look in the back and see if we've got it. So it's a good spot to find parts as well. So last year we had 1,888 bikes donated, and come in, they go into our assessment pile. So they'll get assessed usually at the beginning by a volunteer. They go through, they do an assessment checklist. It's really standardized, and then they get sort of stored on a shelf. And then when we go to look at the next step for that bike, then they get pulled out and they go through a full mechanical checklist. First by maybe a volunteer or a junior mechanic, and then after that, everything that leaves our shop, whether it's social enterprise or to a youth, goes through a quality check with a senior mechanic. So everything will be checked over on those. And the other, space that so bikes, they'll either go to earn a bike, they go to social enterprise. The other space is our continuing cycles program. And those are bikes that aren't ones we can sell, aren't ones that will fit our youth. And so we take bikes and we partner with other organizations and get the bikes back out to them. Some have been fixed up by our mechanics, so they'll go to places like Made by Mala or some of the Kiwanis clubs. So again, we're keeping those bikes in circulation. We're just a good drop-off point. And then the 4th spot is metal recycling. So we're keeping all those bikes out of the landfills.
Even though we're stripping all these parts off, a lot of this stuff is still really, really good and really usable, especially for bikes of this vintage. So this is all going to go back to Tool of You.
My name is Laura Eisted. I'm the executive director here at Tool of You. Been a lot of work, that's for sure, by a lot of amazing people, and we're going to be celebrating our 25th anniversary next year as an organization, which surprises a lot of people because I think we're one of the most. We're the highest impact, but maybe most unheard of nonprofit here in Calgary. A lot of our work has kind of been under the radar. The organization originally started in Minneapolis, in the Twin Cities, in Minneapolis, St. Paul, in Minnesota. Our founders were from the U.S. and they had biked around the world for 2 years after they were first married and had these incredible experiences by bicycle. And they returned back home, and they're both educators, and they had decided that they wanted to find a way of fusing the lessons and the opportunities that they had been given by this amazing bicycle journey, and how could they provide that for use. And so Tool of You was born out of their garage and started with, just some bicycles and some passionate people that wanted to take young people on bike trips. And so that was the core of our programming for a very long time, is that we would take young people to places like Argentina and Norway and in routes in the US and take young people on these completely life-changing, altering travel adventures. And in 2005, the McFerrin family moved to Calgary and brought the organization with them. So they started up here, and we're doing bike trips and things like that. And then things like our Earn a Bike program got added because there was an opportunity to partner with a group called Calgary After School. And so we launched a pilot there, and everything's just kind of grown from there. The world for young people is so different now than it was even, 10 years ago in terms of financial responsibility or support of the family. They just don't have the ability to take in 2 weeks off to go on an incredible adventure, to go to places like Argentina. So we've kind of morphed and really dug our roots really deep in the Calgary area through our Earn a Bike program and our GAP employability programming and our GEM programming. 102nd graduate out of our employability program, which is really incredible. It was a program that we really believed in and we wanted to build, and we felt that we had young people that were hanging around the shop anyway that had shown interest and aptitude in bike mechanics, and it became a really good marriage of all of those things. And I think bike mechanics and bicycles just really lend themselves to people feeling confident about their capabilities and discovering something new about themselves, and that can translate into so many different avenues. Not every one of our graduates ends up working at the bike shop or other places, although it certainly has happened, but it's them just building confidence in themselves and building their knowledge, and every young person is capable, but they may not have necessarily had anybody say that to them or have shown that to them. I always say that these bicycles that the young people are earning are ones that it's getting them to places. These bikes are physically getting them to places, whether it's recreation opportunities, whether it's work, whether it's, we know that our young people are getting school more days because they're able to use a bicycle and maintain it, because that's important too. The bicycles that our young people are earning and learning how to work on are also getting them away from stuff. They're helping them have that mental health break that they need, getting away from a house that's maybe more turbulent than it should be, or those kinds of things. And so people talk about them as being the freedom machine, and I think that's really the case for the youth in our program, and I think our staff and our wider community feel that as well. There's so many good ways to support Two Wheel View. One of them is to bring a bike by. Donate a bicycle that you have lying around that you no longer need. We take your bikes any size, any condition, and we've had this year we'll probably have more than 2,000 bicycles roll through the door, which is really helpful for us to be able to have the bikes that we need to serve in the program. We work with a lot of different kids of different sizes and different types of riding, so we have choice for them in our Earn a Bike program for selection. It also gives us an opportunity to sell different bikes in our social enterprise. So bikes is a really good way to kind of get involved with what we do at Two Wheel View. Donations. We're a registered charity. We can offer tax receipts. We love partnerships, brand opportunities. We love to work with folks that want to make those kinds of donations, because that just helps us keep the wheels turning, literally and figuratively. We also run our social enterprise bike shops. So people looking for a good quality bicycle at a discounted price, where they know it's been checked over by someone. It's not necessarily a Kijiji experience that feels uncertain, or if your budget's just a little bit different than what you might be able to find at a bike shop. We want to make sure that we can serve all folks. There's lots of cool opportunities to be involved and support what we do at all sorts of different levels.
Here we are, bike's done. Let's see how they like it. I hope they like it. What do you think?
Amazing! Oh my gosh, it looks so good.
Yeah, I think so. Everybody at our shop was like oohing and ahhing over it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was really fun to work on this thing. And we got all the old parts as well, because there's no reason that this can't be used for other future projects. And it'd be a shame letting that go to waste as well. So it's all there. And good to go.
Nice, thank you. Yeah, we'll definitely add it back into our stock in the shop.
Sweet.
Thanks.
Cool.
The thing I reflect on a lot in my time here is really that there's everybody has a first bike story, and if they don't, they have a reason for that, whether it's parents never bikes, they didn't have the unfortunate economic ability to get one, but we're part of a lot of first bike stories for these young people, and it's really powerful to see, because we have folks who drop off their very last bike as a donation sometimes, and those are emotional experiences for those people. That's something that I feel really privileged that we've been able to provide so many young people with their very first bike, or maybe their very first bike in Canada. We work with a lot of newcomers, and so they're not always able to take your bicycle. They're not the easiest things to move, and sometimes you have to leave a part of who you are maybe behind. But that we've been able to connect and reconnect young people with bicycles here in Canada and Calgary has been really special.